And we're back here on the GSMC Sports Podcast. And for the third part of the show, we are now going to talk about the Dodgers' performance over the weekend as they sweep the Detroit Tigers, and they are now 5-0 on the year because, they played the games in Tokyo a couple weeks ago. Well, first, I actually wanted to bring this up. So, some NFL stuff. There is support within the committee for the NFL that, for the banning of the tush push. So, the Packers have proposed that, so I guess some teams are, in support of that. And, look, I just think it's silly. Okay, look, I mean, is the tush push silly? Yes, but it should not be banned. It should not be banned. You got to be able to stop it. And teams just can't do it. So, that's why they're doing this, and they just think it's not safe. But no major star player has gotten injured from this play. So, I mean, that's part of it, but also just how, you're just pushing, your quarterback into the end zone. Well, why weren't the Bills able to do it in the championship game? Why weren't they able to do it? Whatever. And that's me supporting the Eagles. But still, it's ridiculous. It should not be banned. But let's get into the Dodgers now. Let's talk some baseball. So it was a great weekend for the Dodgers. They got their World Series rings, and they got a sweep. But I wanted to bring this up. So the Dodgers and the Mets, both, and I mean the Astros as well, the Tigers, they had off days on Sunday. And it's just very odd because everybody usually plays on Sunday. Off days are usually on Monday. Now, we'll talk about the Yankees and their off days in a little bit. But I don't understand where did these Sunday off days come from? I don't know. That's just something I wanted to bring up. But anyways, yeah, so it was a good weekend for the Dodgers. They proved to us all that they're pretty good. They're pretty good. They're a pretty good team. They beat the AL Cy Young winner, Tariq Skubal, on Thursday. Blake Snell got his first win as a Dodger. They won 5-4 on Thursday. And then I got to watch, Friday night's game. First of all, I do want to talk about the Tigers for a second. The Tigers, they made the playoffs last year. And, they made a little bit of a run. They beat the Astros in the wild card round, and then they went up against the Guardians, and, they lost that series. I think it was in 5 games. But I did give them credit, for this series because they played the Dodgers pretty tough. I know this is the first series of the year, but, this is the heavyweight defending champion Dodgers against, the Tigers who got this young team, right? Now, they do have A.J. Hinch, who is, one of the better managers in Major League Baseball, but still, they played them tough, and they had the lead. They had the lead in extra innings. Well, first of all, they tied the game in the top of the ninth. So Tanner Scott, who the Dodgers signed, he blew the save. So they tied the game, and then they put up 2 runs in the top of the 10th, and that was from Dylan Dingler, who had a 2-run triple. Conforto was diving for the ball. He missed it, and 2 runs scored on that. And I think Dingler also had a home run in the game. Yeah, he also hit a home run in the game as well. Gleyber Torres had a home run. He was hurt his side, rounding the bases, I guess. Well, just on the home run. But Freddie Freeman had a home run in the game. Mookie Betts had 2 home runs, and one of them was obviously the walk-off. So, yeah, Tigers were up 5-3, and then Dodgers tied the game, and then they put up, 3 more runs with the Mookie Betts 3-run homer, and that made it 8-5, and that was the game. That was the game. So, and then Saturday, sorry, they won 7-3, and I think did Sasaki pitch in the game? Yeah, Sasaki pitched in the game. He only pitched an inning and 2/3. 2 earned runs, 3 hits, 4 walks, 2 strikeouts. Dodgers bullpen did its job. They gave up a run, but they were pretty much dominant the whole way. They got contributions from Freddie Freeman. He had another home run. Conforto had an RBI double. Teoscar Hernandez, Will Smith homered. Tommy Edman homered. Freddie Freeman had an RBI double. They're just a machine. And they're going to be tough to beat. Now, I know some people online are like, oh man, they're going to go 162-0. No, that's not happening. That will not happen. But you definitely could think to yourself, they could go for that win record. They definitely could. Because they have such a deep team. They have so much depth, with their pitching. I mean, their bullpen is lights out. The starters, they really, they have such a deep bullpen that, their starters really don't have to give them length. Because they got guys that can come in and give you multiple innings. Now, you do worry about that because I talk about this with the Yankees too. You do want your starters to give you length because at some point your bullpen is going to get taxed. But I don't know. I worry more so about that for the Yankees than I do the Dodgers because the Dodgers could just put up a bunch of runs. But Yankees did put up a bunch of runs this weekend too. But again, it's only the first series. If there's one thing that I've learned, and we will talk about Juan Soto tomorrow on the show because, Yankee Met fans were going back and forth and, Soto made his debut as a Met and, did not have a bad series against the Astros by any means. But I do want to talk about that because it's just it's a big deal, I think. So, we'll get into that tomorrow. But if there's one thing I've learned, it's don't overreact to the first series of the year. Do not. Because, it was a great weekend for my team, but, I'm not expecting them to do that every single day. And I do think the Yankees are in for a reality check tomorrow, but we'll get into that. We'll get into that. But yeah, the Dodgers they're just unreal. They really are. And Mookie Betts. I do want to bring up Mookie Betts. So obviously he was dealing with that illness, and there was a lot of concern there. But then he was getting positive updates, and and then he has that game on Saturday, which I will say, as much as I was kind of shaking my head, saying, "Man, I can't believe this team is just this good," and they pulled off the comeback, which I figured was going to happen because, saw them play in the World Series against the team I root for, and, they're never out of a game. They're not. So, but just seeing Mookie Betts being able to do that and what he was going through the last, couple of weeks, longer than that, that was good to see, and hopefully he's past that. It seems like he's past it. And he can go out there and have a good year. Ohtani homered in the opener. Still waiting to see what happens with him when he gets back on the mound. But we saw Blake Snell get his first win with the Dodgers, and then Sasaki really didn't give the Dodgers a lot of length. But at some point he's going to figure it out and he'll be effective. But a very good series for them, and I think now. Starting this week, they go up against, let's see, what do the Dodgers go up against? Oh, wow, they go up against the Braves, and the Braves actually just got swept by the Padres in 4 games. So, not a good start for them. You got the Dodgers 5-0, Braves 0-4 to start the year. And the pitching matchup tonight, you got Tyler Glasnow making his first start of the year for the Dodgers, and then you got Grant Holmes for the Braves. So we'll see what happens there. And then for the Tigers, they'll be starting a series with the Mariners this week. At least, starting this week. But let me know what you guys think, though, about the Dodgers. Do you think this team could break the single-season win record? I definitely think it is possible. It's definitely possible. That I feel like is not that much of an overreaction because it's just how good this team is. I'm serious. They could definitely do it. Now, there are some people that are going to bet the under in wins for the Tigers. It's my dog chasing her tail outside my door right now, so I apologize for that. Yeah, I guess she's she's excited about the Dodgers and how well they're doing. But yeah, it's I really think they can do it. Injuries can come along, we get that, but if this team can stay fully healthy, um, you know, they could definitely do it. They could definitely do it. But it's just, I mean, it's like it's a wide gap between the Dodgers and like the next best team, honestly. But you know, we got a long way to go. We got a long season. You could say it's an overreaction, but we got a long season, and yeah, let's see. Let's see how it plays out. Let's see how it plays out. But yeah, we are going to take our next break now, and then when we come back, we are going to talk about the Yankees and their offensive explosion over the weekend. After their close win against the Tigers against the Brewers in the opener, we will get into talking about how they did, how Aaron Judge did as he tries to go for his second straight MVP and his third in his last 4 years. We will get into that, and how the lineup looked over the weekend against the Brewers. It was definitely rough for the Brewers. But yeah, the Yankees, they swept they swept a good team, a team that won the Central last year, so they're off to a good start. They're off today, but we'll get into all that when we come back from our next break. So with that being said, stick around, and we'll be right back here on the GSMC Sports Podcast.